Hello and welcome to episode 20. So today, big day. We are going to try to finish this building. I paused for a second because I'm like, is that what I want to say? We're going to finish the building itself. We may do things later inside for production, but we're going to try to finish the building itself today. So I have come up with what I'm going to do on the exterior. This will be the front. Maybe it's going to be the back. It will not be the sides. I haven't figured the sides out, but we can at least get this going. So I put up a couple of them just so you can kind of see what it's going to look like. It is basically down here, big concrete pillar, and then big concrete pillar. So it kind of gives you that look. And then this one's a different color and it's recessed back just a tiny bit. Thank you, Infinite Nudge. And then inside, you can see this sticks out just a little bit and there's a 1 meter wall here. I didn't want the glass going to the floor. I think that's fine in, a residential building, an office building, not a factory though. So I got the concrete wall there and then this ramp, and it's set up to where if I deleted this window, you can't walk out. That's just enough of a lip to stop it. But anyways, you can just see that there. It looks fine. Got just the walls up the middle, got the pillars going up. Same thing over there. The middle one just is a one concrete pillar by itself, turned it to 45. And then the top is the same thing as the bottom where it's the 3 pillars. Power does run through here. And there is kind of room to put power in again, but my power was buried deeper back. So just temporarily, I've got the power going onto poles, going down this catwalk, feeding over to stuff, and then going back to where it was. So when I'm ready to go here, we'll probably just shut the whole factory down and kill the power. And then I'll have to come back and do a few things. Yeah, this, okay, we can probably tweak that a little bit. That's unfortunate. The other thing is diagonal bracing. That's one thing the factory definitely needs. So I built it into this blueprint. We've got a beam going from the bottom of this column all the way up to the top, and it kind of hits right under the beam. So that would stop, a little bit of the racking or lateral force. I also put a beam underneath, so it's supporting the catwalk. There's a big beam under the catwalk. And then with the way the catwalk has these little supports going out, I think that looks good. And then I put 2 here. It would look better with just 1 because it doesn't need 2, but then it's just on like a little concrete wall instead of this thicker thing. So we got that. So the catwalk, I think that's enough support from here to there. It's got a beam underneath. So that's this blueprint. I'll have to come back and do the power. And that's the production floor. The other production floor right there is identical. This is the logistics floor. It's a little bit shorter. It has the same exact top and bottom, but it just doesn't have that middle diagonal piece. But that's it. And then there's no support for the catwalk because I don't have a blueprint for this. So I probably should have a blueprint, but I don't know. I guess I'm going to do it manually. The blueprint's going to get me most of the way there. All right, let's start a time lapse and I will go ahead and build the whole front of the building with the blueprints. And then, I'm gonna have to figure out this because there's no blueprint for that. And even if I made one, the other side's mirrored. And then the middle one has got the elevator. I think that should work out because the elevator is going to line up right there. So I think I would just not put the walls in, but these are going to stick into the elevator. Yeah, that's a problem. All right, here we go. Time lapse. Okay, I stopped the time lapse because I needed to kind of figure out the middle here. And what I did is I basically just took my blueprint there and I cut out, because that's going to stick out too far. Those stick out too far, that, and then those again. So I just cut that out and it's the same on both sides, except in here, I moved these pillars instead of being halfway in and halfway out. They're all the way moved into the building. I had to take that out and these are too big. So I used a little one there. I guess I'll just go ahead and put it in. So I used a little one there to try to kind of continue that line. Yeah. Then up here, I should be able to move that back a little bit. Right there. You know, compromises. Yeah, this needs to go here again. I don't have a good option for this. I mean, there's a door wall here that would fit perfectly. The side door. Obviously, I have to do that. I don't like the looks of that at all. I can change it. Yeah. I don't like that. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do there, but yeah. So that's that. Let me, I'm not going to time lapse the rest because you kind of watched me do where I do the production floors and then I fill in between. So I'm just going to do that off camera to fill these in. And then we've got the side switcher. Yeah. And then there's the whole back of the building, but I probably won't even time lapse that. I'll probably just do that off camera. I'm thinking, well, maybe I'll time lapse it. We'll see. Okay. I got the center of the building done. Basically same thing. I took the, blueprint, right, and cut the middle out and I put it on the production floors and then I just filled it in between. I had to do a little bit of stuff manually. I need to do the two ends now to finish off the front. But the first thing I want to do is I want to run power. And the reason I had power in the first blueprint and the reason I couldn't do all of the power in this one, which is unfortunate, but I did the blueprint. Most of the blueprints for the building don't go from pole to pole. It actually goes from halfway in between to halfway in between. So that this is the center of the blueprint. But this blueprint I made from here to here. And the issue is up here in the beam, I needed the wall power one. Where is it? Yeah, the double wall outlet. I needed that here. On the blueprint, this line is the very edge of the blueprint. Well, it needs to be halfway out of the blueprint. So I couldn't do that. I was able to put two in the middle. And they're all connected except for this one, just because the elevator thing is here. But yeah, so I've got to run down and put two of those into each beam and then connect all these lines and then come back and connect those lines to these lines. And I got to do that on every floor. Yeah. Yeah. All because of the blueprint. I should have done it. Should have done it better than that. But let me get the power going because I want to get everything running again. Well, it doesn't look any different, but all of the power's on. Everything's running again, which is good. It took a couple hours. So I need to do the two ends and that'll finish the front off. And I don't know. I kind of want to make a blueprint, but then I have to make a blueprint for each one. We'll see. I'm going to do it off camera because it's just a lot of tedious stuff, kind of like the power. It's not worth time lapsing. When I go to do like the back, I can time lapse that. It'll go a lot quicker because there's no elevators in the back. All right, I've got a couple blueprints now that should do this. Elevator west corner. Put it down. I need to go out here. All I have to do is build out a foundation of foundation. Make that sit on there. Perfect. Okay. Build it. And what this one does, it's got the glass going around the elevator. It's got these painted beams in here. I'm trying to make it look like extruded aluminum, because a lot of times that's when you have these big walls of glass, it'll be extruded aluminum. So I'm trying to make it look like that and kind of match the elevator. There is this wall here, and in order to do the windows, that window is there and that one's there. So the two windows overlap to give me two lines in here, because this is a foundation and a half wide. So to mimic that over here, there's a window there, but there's another window here just to give me that line in the middle. And then I needed to kind of cover that window up. So the concrete mostly covers it up, but a little bit of the black sticks out. So I put concrete pillar there. And then I went ahead and put another one and another one. I'm not going to continue that all the way down, but this is the corner of the building. And like everything in there seems pretty strong. This seems kind of a weak spot. That's holding up that steel beam. There's a big steel beam up there. It's being held up by that post, but there was really nothing in the corner holding it. So I'm like, okay, these three pillars, that should hold it up. They're mostly outside. So I like that. I put in this pillar going across just to connect this wall to this, and then just did this little thing here just to, you know, it looks like it's holding up the catwalk. I mean, it is holding up the catwalk, but that's not why it's there. It's to stop this wall from having any kind of movement, so it connects it into this thing. And then of course they're connected here at the floor and then again up there. So that's that. And I'm going to go up to, so we're on production 1. We're going to go up to production 2, and I'm going to do the same thing. And then I've got another blueprint. I've got another blueprint that goes in between, and that's that one. So I need this one. Oh, see, those lines are very deceiving sometimes. What am I hitting that's different here? What have I done? I went too far out. Never mind. Never mind. I'm like, this isn't right. Right there. Right? Yes. So this floor is identical to the other production floor, so I should just be able to stick that in. That looks all good. Then when we go down here, then I'm going to use the other blueprint, just the short one. And all I've got to do is line that up on top of that. And this one has the cross piece up there, but it doesn't have the steel beams because obviously it won't fit. Where's it at? Yeah, right here, because obviously this is here, so I can't really do that. There is a minor thing, and there's a one high right there. I can't, there's not a good way to do this. There's just not a good way to make a blueprint that I can stack. So no matter how I do it, I got to have a 1 somewhere, just because of the height of these floors being 9 high. Just, it doesn't work out. So, okay, there's a 1 high thing in there and you don't really see it because it's literally even with the floor. So whatever. So I've just got to run up. I've got to do my tall blueprint on production 3 and 4, and then the short one on 5. And this should be done. Of course, I'll have to take out these little pieces. And when you kind of get back, yeah, I got to do the bottom too, but that's kind of what I was going for, was just, you've got buildings and then it'll have a little protrusion at the corner, and that's the stairwell. So we've got the stairwell and the elevator. So yeah, there you go. Let me knock the rest of it out real quick. Okay, one minor problem to my plan. So these two blueprints, the tall one and the short one, are set up production, logistics, production, which got me up to this floor, right? That's what I just did. Then going up, it's production, logistics, production. So the same thing again, but this floor to this floor, production 2 to production 3, is production to production. So this one stops short, and then this one has to start here. So Yeah, I'm going to have to either put the one in manually, I guess, or yeah, that's probably the simplest thing. So I'll just have to put that one in manually, but otherwise I'm just going to go up, do the other production logistics, and I'll fill that one little square in. So it'll still end up with the 1 high. It's either 1 high or 3 high. Either way, it's not going to match. And the top production floor is a little interesting because the elevator stops here. The elevator, max height of the elevator goes up about there, and it wasn't enough to get up to that catwalk. So only the middle elevator, because it doesn't start on the ground, it starts at the first floor, can get up high enough. So yeah, I technically need glass to come in and then something there, or the glass could go over, but that seems weird. Seems like the glass should come in, so I might have to custom do that little bit right there, but the whole rest of it, I just have to do that 1 high custom. Yeah, and it's going to be 1 short from the roof, because again, it's waiting for a logistics one above. And there isn't a logistics one above because this is the roof. So I'll have to run that up. And of course I don't. Actually, I can just slap the logistics blueprint down and then just chop everything off because I don't want it to stop right here. I want it to go up 1 and I want to have a little roof on it. And yeah, this thing here, I don't know. These actual roof pieces are shorter than a foundation. So that's why there's such a... I'm sure I can put something here to get me up and over, but all right, let me finish that up. Yeah, I'm just going to put this blueprint up here, and is this going to be that high tall enough? Yeah, because that's there. So I should be able to just, oh, I'm going to lose the beams though. I'm going to lose the beams. All right, let's, do everything but the beams. Well, I can lose those beams. That should be good. Where... I can't even select that. I think I should be able to delete these and just... Could be something under here, right? Yeah. Yeah, I should be able to delete these. And just take that one. I got to make sure it snaps. I think that snapped to the right spot. I think that's going to be right because I don't know what I'm doing with the ceiling either. Yeah, probably what we'll have to do is run it a little long and then hope the ceiling can cover it up. Oh, hello. Don't fall off. Nope. Nope. I need you to snap to this thing. But at the top. Yes, that. And of course we'll have to fill that in somehow. I don't know if I can just stack. Let's see what happens here, because I don't know what I'm snapping to. Oh, you're going to place outside of the... Yeah, I don't want you there. You're snapping onto the top of the elevator, aren't you? I need you to snap even with the middle of that. Go that way. Go there. How tall am I? Is that in the... It's still slightly outside, isn't it? I mean, I can just manually push it over more, right? Oh, hello. Expected to land on the edge and not fall off. Good thing we have the new jetpack with the... Or not the new jetpack, but the fuel that lasts... Let me not do that one. Let me just... Okay, I'm going to put that there. I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to snap that one underneath. And then I guess I'm just going to stand here and do that. You're inside there? Yeah. Yeah, there's a gap there. Maybe we can just put a foundation or something like up on top. I'm not 100%. I don't know how I'm going to do that. And I won't be able to do the line in the middle either, because that would mean that's going to stick in like halfway, right? That's a bummer. That's a bummer. I do wish there were a few more architectural things in the game. Like specifically the signs. If you put a sign on the ground, you get this little thing, and you can actually delete it separately. Just that little rod thing, right? I wish there were a few other things, because sometimes the beams are too big. I want like some smaller thing, right? Like I could just have something and put a little line up there. This would be perfect, but you can't. You can delete that and leave the sign. You can't delete the sign and leave that. And then even if you could, it's not like you're gonna be able to click on it and extend it. But yeah, I wish there was a few more things like that size. It is a factory game and not a architecture game, but still. Okay, let me go up there, see if I can put a little roof on, see what we can do here, and then I gotta go fill in the one high. This is why I like Infinite Nudge. You can see the textures fighting. I just stuck this out, so I'll keep the same position. Delete that. Click onto the end, put it back where it was, hit H. But now I'm gonna go. I think that did it. But the directions were weird, so I'm not sure. Yeah, so see, I still got a tiny bit, but it's from this one. That one that's doing it now. Anyways, I can nudge stuff 1 centimeter. That one looks like it actually should just come out. Ooh, nope, don't do that. No, I have to find that spot again. Let's try that again. So which way comes towards me? That, okay. I'm gonna go 2 centimeters towards me. Yes, that fixed it. And you barely notice it's sticking out 2 centimeters. Yeah, I should fix that one. This isn't ideal. Okay. It's not ideal. Yeah, but I got that, and that's my little step. I don't have to hit jump here or anything. I can just go right over it. So that's the roof. I've got a little roof piece there. I made it glass, but I realized the top of the elevator is solid. So actually no reason to do that. I think that's probably appropriate. Can I color it? I know a black roof is like a bad idea, but no. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So there you go. I got to get rid of these things, and I still got to do the little one high. So it's not perfect. Like I said, it's not perfect. Well, somehow I did the math wrong. So I just put in the one high. Didn't I? I'm actually not sure. Oh, I put in the top of the one high. So I can leave it 3 high, or I can make it a 1 high. I guess I should make it a 1 high because I don't know. Maybe it's less noticeable as a 3 high. I don't know. Yeah. So I guess that's the finished thing. I guess I didn't run the wall all the way up there. I need to do that. Maybe I can run. I don't know if I can run those details over. I need to get back. I'm kind of in trouble here. It's the only problem with putting walls on once you fly out there. All right, let me run upstairs and look at that. Okay, I continued those 2 details over, and it looks good from the outside. Now, what's it look like on the inside? I don't know. This top one should be completely fine because nothing's up there. Yeah, that's totally fine. Nothing's up there. Down here, though, I don't know. Oh, okay. Well, it's kind of in the way of that beam. I guess that's okay. Do I put windows there instead? I feel like that should. I'm not 100% on that. I'm like 90% I've got what I want, but yeah. we're gonna go with that for now. I'm gonna call this done, except for I've got to run it down to the ground. And I can't run anything else over because the elevator is right there. So, yeah. So we're going to have to run this down to the ground. I don't know 100% how that's going to work. Let's have a look-see. I'm going to go with the short one. How I get it to snap to that, I don't know. I'm aimed at that, so I hope it snapped to it. Oh, actually. No way. I did not plan that. I did not plan that. No way that that happens to be the right link. Huh. We got a couple things we're gonna have to clean up, I think. I don't know about this going all the way to the ground. Oh, but it's hiding the glass too. It's hiding the glass. Again, I might come back and revisit that a little bit later. This should not be... Probably want to bump this concrete out a little bit too, but okay. Well, I'm going to say that that corner of the building is basically done. It's 90% of what I wanted. The only downside is those blueprints won't work over there. Everything's mirrored, and I would literally not be able to use any of it except the front piece, but it's in the wrong spot. I'm not going to do that corner of the building. I don't think we're going to get the whole building done this episode anyway, but yeah, I am not going to do that corner of the building. I think I'm going to use the same on the front, on the back, and it should go much easier because there's not nearly as much stuff in the way and there's no power running down the side and all that stuff. So I'm going to set up for a time lapse and just do the entire back of the building. Oh, also there's no elevators. So yeah. Okay, I edited my blueprint for the front wall because I don't need as much stuff. So all I need to do to the back wall, and I'm not going to replace the pillars and all that. All I've got to do is remove this truss, the concrete walls that are with the truss, those two electrical things, and then the two center foundations. Okay, that's it. Then I take my blueprint for back wall. I really should make like folders or something. And that should be it. Way easier than the front. Way easier. And then every base like that. I'm not 100% on this. If I can just... Would be this one. Let's experiment. It's going to end right in the middle of that. Not sure what I'm going to do at the corner. Not sure. And I put two, yeah, let's get rid of that again. We'll come back to that. We'll think of that like the sides. Of course you did. There we go. Yeah, and I don't know how I'm going to do the sides. All right, let me, and I will have to take, I'm going to have to take this out every time. Because the next one's going to have that. I could take it out of the blueprint, but then when I get to the end, I won't have the one I need. Well, then I could... Yeah, let me go back and edit the blueprint and just take this one out. Because then when I put this here, that will end up here. Yeah, let's do that, and then I'll come back for a time lapse. So I've got some bad news. What you should have just watched was a really cool time lapse of me doing the back of the building. I don't know exactly what happened. So I had my second computer join this game. I got the camera out over the void, looking back at the building. I started recording in OBS on the other computer. And then on this computer that I'm playing on, I built the whole back of the building. Looks really nice, right? And I went ahead and took the blueprint that I had and just hung them off and then kind of cut them just so it's, you know, there you go. It's the whole back of the building. Yeah. And so then I got done, and then I got up and walked over to the other computer and stopped recording in OBS. And what normally happens when you're actively recording, you'll see the file in the folder and it'll show as like 0 bytes, and it'll have like a generic file icon because it's not a video file yet. Yeah. So what happened was when I clicked stop, a couple seconds later, like the folder refreshed and the file size showed like 700 megabytes, which was right because I had set OBS to do 10 frames per second because it's a time lapse. But the icon didn't change. It still showed a generic file. And I tried to double click the file and open it, and it wouldn't play the video. Then I went to my other computer and through the network accessed the drive on the other computer, double click the file. This computer wouldn't play the file. Then I tried to copy the file from that computer to this computer. It copied like 300 megabytes and then it stopped and gave me this Windows error that I've never even seen before. So I rebooted the other computer, and now the file doesn't exist. There were 4 video files in the folder. Now there's 3. It's just gone. I downloaded some file recovery software. The only thing, the videos are on their own SSD. I don't use that drive for anything else except OBS puts the video files on there. So the file recovery software it found video files that I deleted, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, all of that. It didn't find that file. So I saw the file. It was in the folder. It was 700 megabytes. I tried to copy it. It copied half of it. Now the file doesn't exist. It's not deleted. It's not there. It's just bye-bye. So no more time lapse. I am not going to, I thought about it. I thought about it for a second. Like, do I delete the whole back wall and then redo it just so I can time? Nope, not doing it. Sorry. So you missed it. Yeah. So long story short, back of the building's done. Way easier than the front of the building. Way easier. Let me up here. So now the next thing, we need to do diagonals. I've got a diagonal here and a diagonal in the front. I've got this blueprint. And all I have to do is delete the base, line it up, put it in, and there's my diagonal. And you might think you want like an X in between those 2 columns. And then, an X would be stronger, but that's a really long distance. And having an X that far, it just looked funny. And I work at a warehouse, and what you see when you look around a giant building, you don't see identical bracing everywhere. It'll be kind of different in some spots. It might be bigger, it might be smaller. You might have X bracing and then somewhere else this. So our building has several of these where it goes from there to halfway and then back down. You're still making a triangle, right? So you're kind of resisting the movement. So we've got that angle and then we've got the V. I'm going to go ahead and put these V's in all the way through on this bay. Up at the front, we've got the same thing, the diagonal on the angle on the front wall. And then in this first bay, from this column to this column, I'll have the upside down V. And then I'm just not going to have anything in the 2 middle bays. It's unfortunate that this building has got 4 bays, because if there were 3 bays here instead of 2, I would have a V, nothing, V, nothing, and then V, and be like every other one. Because again, a lot of times you don't see bracing every single place. It'll kind of be some places and not others. So obviously we're just doing this to make it look better. But so that's basically the plan. I'm going to go ahead and put all these V's in just like that. It'll just be the first full bay down the back, the first full bay down the front on all of the production floors. And then the production floors already have this angle here. The logistics floors don't have any angles yet. And there's no angles stopping the building from going this way, only front to back. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm not even going to try to time lapse because number one, well, it just didn't work. But two, I'm going to be just moving around floor to floor to floor. So not the best thing for a time lapse. So I do apologize. It would have been a really cool time lapse when I did the back of the building. Yeah, it's just gone though. So let me go ahead and throw a bunch of these in and we'll try to get this going real quick. So there is a minor problem with the way these blueprints are. Unfortunately, I set the catwalks up with the kind of the crossing going here because I didn't want it to clip into the pole, but the diagonal will not go there. Well, I mean, it could, but it would clip into the catwalk really bad, like right in the middle of it. So, oh, come on now. So I've got to change this. I need the intersection. Nope, that's a T. Isn't there a... Yeah, that. If you time it right... and just run down and do this. These ones down here are complicated too because of the little stair thing. Like that one's fine, but yeah. Okay, now we're gonna. So I got to move all these back. Oops. Good Lord. Okay, let's just stop recording here because. Now, do we need all of these catwalks? No, absolutely not. We kind of needed them in the beginning because I couldn't fly. Now that I can fly, I don't really need them, but that's also what makes it look like a factory. It's all these catwalks above everything. So even if I don't need them at all, I'm not going to get rid of them. All right, so then I can just go back up here. Turn my blueprint around. And as you can see, that one is fine. And then this one comes down here. So before this was like the catwalk was here and this was dead center. Now, is this clipping in here? Yeah, but I don't consider it clipping. I consider the pole had to be here and that this is actually cut around the column, right? It's not in there. That's silly. Yeah. All right. I'm trying to get stuff done here. We're not going to get the building done on this episode. It's not going to happen because, you know, sidewalls and stuff, but let's try to get a bunch of it done. And unfortunately, there's a couple spots where we have like a second level in here and I'm going to have to not center it. I'll bring it over as far as I can. And then put this back. So by bringing that over as far as I could, it's still barely on the beam, but that way this doesn't clip into this, right? Because that would look funny. So there you go. We've got them all down the front. We've got them all down the back, except somehow I missed this one. My bad. I moved the catwalk for it, but I never replaced it. Oh, wait a minute. There should be one on the other side of that raised area too, shouldn't there? Okay, that's all of them here. Oh no, because that's the steel that's raised. Yeah. No, that's all of them. Yeah, so that's kind of what the... You know, I could put it in on these other two bays, but it just gets super busy, and it's not like it's really doing anything, you know? I think it looks pretty cool, though. Definitely by the time you get up here and you look, it's like... This looks like a factory, for sure. There's a lot going on in there. And we still need, I can't put, the distance between these is the same as the distance this way, right? It's the same thing. So I could put this V thing from that pole up to that pole, but there's nothing for it to land on up there because there's not a giant steel beam. And then there's all kinds of stuff in the way because basically on this floor, everything runs this way. So it's easy to put the V's in with it. It's going to be hard to put them in sideways. The logistics floor is the other way. I don't know how realistic it is, but I'm kind of thinking the production floors, all the V's go from front to back. And then on the logistics floor, the cross bracing will go from side to side. There's only 2 logistics floors though, so it's maybe not realistic. But look, at the end of the day, I don't even need to do any of this, right? We're just trying to make it look cool. So I'm not going to sweat if it's not quite 100% enough cross bracing, but we got to give it some. All right. There's like 5 more floors to go. All right. That is production floor 2 finished, assuming I didn't miss any anywhere. I don't think I did. I like this floor too, because everything almost goes way further back. Like on the other floor, it's full, but then as you kind of go down, it's not as full. This one's, I really like this floor. All right. Production 3 up next. All right, production 3 is done, assuming I didn't miss a spot here. Now this floor, nothing went that far back. We got tons of dead space back here. So for sure, I could put diagonals in. There's always the potential we might need to expand some of these things. How far back are they going to go? I don't know. Like if it only, and you know, some of these, yeah. So if there's 5 there, then, you know, that would double it to get back to that pole. So I could put in diagonals on this floor easily. I could do it on that pole. I could do it on this pole. I could technically do it on this pole, but I wouldn't because we won't be able to expand. So I could do that, but I can't do it on the other 2. So production 4, I haven't done this floor yet, but what's nice is the catwalks had to go in a different spot. Instead of the cross piece going here, I ended up bumping it to the beginning because I was having to put this in manually. So I'm like, I'm going to change the blueprint on these and just put this at the front of the blueprint since I always want this here. And then it moves, you know, these here because this is the beginning of the next blueprint. But basically, I don't have to move any of the catwalks on this floor. They're all exactly where they need to be. And then we can put our diagonals in. And again, I could do some diagonals going this way. I'm not going to do that yet, though, but let me throw all these down. That actually only takes like 5 minutes when you don't have to move the catwalks, and I can just run through and throw them down. The other thing I've got a blueprint for is the signs for the manufacturers. Somewhere. I really should organize this and make folders and things. Signs, factory layout, new. Production sign, 3 tall. I believe that's it. And then I've got, yes. I've got these set up to where I can tell. Should go this way. And then I think it comes back 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes. And that should stick it in the right spot. And this blueprint already contains all the information for these 3. Let me just get rid of these. And then I'll show you the sign. Oh, hello. Too far. So there you go. They still haven't fixed this bug yet for this. I don't know why. I kind of thought it'd be fixed by now. But when you go into layout, this arrow is left, right? It's all the way to the left. This arrow used to be in the center. And then update 1.1 experimental, it got moved over, but you can tell it doesn't perfectly line up. It's actually just a little bit over. Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I can't possibly think they did that intentionally. They're like, you know, instead of having left and center, we should have left and like almost left. So I feel like that's just a bug, and this should, you know, at some point they'll fix it and that'll go back to the center. But so we've got our 4 crystal oscillators. We've got what's coming in, 4 manufacturers, right? All that stuff. And I've got it for all those. I'm going to go ahead and throw that same sign blueprint down on every bay, although it's going to be that same information. I'll have to update for the information, but it's only 3 things here and 1 thing there, and that's it. So let me get that real quick. All the signs should be updated. So we've got the empty containers. That one's been there. We got our high-speed connectors, SAM fluctuators, and crystal oscillators. This one I just did. Computers, modular engine, heavy modular frame. Adaptive control units, and then 2 more spots. Because I'm figuring, 2 more things there. This one I'm going to have 2 things there, I think. So I set that up for 2. This one I'm thinking will just be 1 thing. And then this one's 37. And the reason I did that, each floor was going to have 12, right? So the first floor is 1 through 12. The second production floor is 13 to 24. Then the next one is 25 to 36. This one starts at 37. So 37, 38, 39 and 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50. And that's why I'm like, oh, well, it says 2. Did I not change this? 50, like I said. Yeah, 144 megawatts, 4 belts, 1,000 iron. Yeah, I never updated that one. Whatever. Empty containers. Who cares? We're not even using those. So that's why I'm just like, that one will have 1 and that one will have 2, because then it ended up at 50 and we can make 50 items. And I like that. All right, so it's about at the wrapping up point. I want to do a couple more things. We've got the front and back walls. The back wall is done. The front wall, yeah, I still need to do this corner because my blueprint for over there won't work over here. So we need to do the front corner. We still need to do the side walls. I've got on the production floors all of the front to back bracing. There's no side to side bracing. The logistics floors don't have any bracing. Is that all? I'm trying to think. Is that all that this building needs to be done? It's possible. So episode 19, I was at 199 hours. And now I'm at 209. So it's been 10 hours. And we've had those new productions. Well, they haven't been running for the full 10 hours because when I did the front wall, I tore the power down. And I'm going to say nothing had power for 2 hours. So let's say 8 hours. Now, where are these things at? What's this? I don't remember where anything is. What is this one? Circuit boards. Oh, because those are all getting used. Okay. Must be over here. Okay, so these adaptive control units. So in the top right for the space elevator, I need 100 of these. And you can tell I don't have it circling. We've got 48 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So we got like 55. It's taken 8 hours and we've got 55. So I need another 8 hours of playing the game and we'll have enough to go to the next phase. Back here. What is this one? I should put signs. Okay, computers. I don't need computers for anything right now, but we do have a few computers going. Oh, these are the modular engines, right? I don't know why I have that one circling. I would swear I had done that to let these build up. Okay, I don't remember. So the modular engines. So I need 500 of those, and of course I don't know how many I have. And I swear I disconnected that so that I could see how many I have. Okay, I don't know how many I have. And then the 2500 thing, that's completely maxed out. And what are you? Okay, heavy modular frames. Okay, we've got quite a few heavy modular frames. That's good. What were the other productions upstairs? Crystal oscillators. Oh, we've got almost a full container of those. That's good. What else are we making? We saw the adaptive control units, computers, modular frames, modular engines. Oh, high-speed connectors, SAM fluctuators, crystal oscillators. The SAM fluctuators, I think, are full because we're not even using them. Yeah, so it's just a matter of how many of these do we have. 100, 200, 350. So I've probably got the 500. At the very least, I'll easily have the 500 by the time this thing gets to 100. Sorry, I had to cough. We're going to go ahead and end the episode there. I have no idea what happened to my Excel file. I've obviously screwed it up because I know I'm not using these adaptive control units to make anything. It's like the last thing we started producing. So, yeah. So next time we will try to finish the factory, which is what we were supposed to do this time. But it's just the side walls and that front corner and some more diagonal bracing. Yeah, maybe.